Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Porn and Capitalism. I just got done watching the new Coming to America, the sequel. I'll be honest, I didn't see the first one, but I did just watch Coming to America. It was okay. I do want to say some positive things before we, go too far into the movie. Sexy women, a lot of sexy women. I'll be honest, that kept me watching most of the movie was the sexy women, all right? Zamunda, is that how you say it? Zamunda? Some very sexy ladies in Zamunda. Very sexy ladies in Zamunda. Number one, Kiki Lane, who played Mika, which is Eddie Murphy's oldest daughter. Very hot. Very sexy during that movie. Also, on a positive note, I will say, I think that was the funniest I thought Leslie Jones has been since some of her early SNL stuff. I didn't see Ghostbusters, and I'm not going to. But I thought she was great in it. I know a lot of people don't like Leslie Jones, but I thought she was awesome. And again, this is someone who was like, I didn't watch Ghostbusters 2, the women one. I'm not going to watch the women Ghostbusters. I don't give a shit. But I thought she was hilarious in this movie. So I'll give it that. Another hilarious part, no spoiler alert here. I don't really give a shit. Dikembe Mutombo made a little cameo, and he did the no. It was awesome. That was awesome. Now, there was a funny point in the movie where they were talking about how Hollywood basically just makes remakes and shit like that and how American cinema is trash, which I thought was funny because they were basically poking fun at themselves. They were just like, we're just making a sequel no one asked for. They put it on Amazon Prime. It was an Amazon original, too, which I found interesting because it's like Amazon is the new Hollywood pretty much, It's all streaming pretty much. I thought one of the worst parts of the movie was the CGI lion. The Prince Lavelle, Eddie Murphy's bastard son, has to get a whisker from a lion, and it's so obviously a CGI lion. I'm like, can't they couldn't do anything better than that? Like it was so, and they had the lion fart and stuff, and I was like, all right. CGI lion ripping ass. All right, whatever. I thought it was a pretty solid movie. Again, I haven't seen the first one, but I thought it was pretty decent. It's not the funniest I've seen Eddie Murphy, but that's also because he did Shrek and Shrek 2. So kind of hard to top that. Shrek is one of the best. Shrek is absolutely one of the best fucking movies. Now at the end, again, I don't give a shit about spoilers, but they do have I think it's called Sexual Chocolate. It's like, there's a lot of callbacks to the first movie. So if you haven't seen the first movie, maybe watch that first, but I haven't seen it and I still watched it and I thought it was fine, Arsenio Hall, great. Wesley Snipes, maybe the best in the movie. He was hilarious. He was great. Other than Dikembe Mutombo, Tracy Morgan was in it too. It was honestly, they got all the big black actors in that. And they even had Louis Anderson. They had Linnell on there. Rick Ross was in there. I'm just looking at the cast right now. I don't remember all these off the top of my head. But I mean, they had a lot of big names in it. And then they dropped it on Amazon Prime. Because I mean, that's what you do nowadays. You make a movie and you put it where people are going to watch it, which is streaming. And they did. And, James Earl Jones, shout out, Michigan alumnus. Go Blue. Michigan just won the other day, too. Locked up the Big Ten championship. But this is not about the sports, all right? This is about sexy women in Zamunda, all right? I can't get over Kiki Lane. She was fucking awesome in that. She was so sexy, dude. And so one of the plot points in the movie is that the heir to Zamunda has to be a dude. It has to be a male heir. It can't be a queen. It can't be a female heir. And by the end of it, obviously, that gets turned around because Hollywood, right? Agendas, guys. It was weird, though. It's like you have 3 daughters, and none of them can be queen or anything like that. It did seem kind of like they knew what they were doing with the whole, female empowerment angle of the movie. That being said, great female actresses. It was great, There were some real hot dance scenes that were tough to not get a boner during. Trying real hard not to get a boner during some of those scenes. I'm not going to say I accomplished that because I did not. Also, Tiana Taylor, who played Wesley Snipes' daughter, what was her name? Poto Izzy from the Nextorians. Is that what they're called? The Nextorians, I believe. Something like that. Long story short, she was also very sexy. Just a lot of sexy women in the movie. It'll keep you going. If you're into sexy women, sexy black women especially, you will like this movie. If you're not, you think you're racist, honestly. Especially during Women's History Month. How are you not going to like female empowerment during Women's History Month? What are you, a misogynist? Are you a misogynist? Women's History Month is weird to me because I feel like it's a new thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the history of Women's History Month is. But I feel like this is the first year it's ever happened. Women's History Month. When did they start doing this? Oh, so they did international. Okay, so in the United States, Women's History Month traces back to International Women's Day in 1911. 1978, they started doing Women's History Week. When did they do Women's History Month? Women's History Month, 1987. Maybe hold on a second. Women's History Month, the petition for it started in 1987, but when did it actually happen? Since 1988, U.S. presidents have issued annual proclamations. Okay, since 1988. So H.W. Bush. That's how progressive the Bush family is. A lot of people don't know that. George H.W. Bush, CIA legend, by the way. He's the guy who started Women's History Month. And if it wasn't him, it was Reagan. I don't know who was technically in office. It was probably Reagan. It was Reagan. Isn't that crazy? Ronald Reagan. That's hilarious, man. But it's Women's History Month. Yeah, there we go. Calm down, ladies. It's weird they get March. Excuse me, Bill Burr had the great SNL rant where he talked about, how did gay people get June? I'd done a joke about that for a while. How did gay people get June? Women got March. It's crazy. It's crazy. Gays and women get everything in this country. They do. And it's Women's History Month, which is great for porn and capitalism because, this is a time to reflect on what women mean to you. They're beautiful. Women are beautiful. This is not a misogynistic podcast. We try to celebrate women. We try to celebrate the female entrepreneur. I do have an interview set up with, get this, an OnlyFans star. So we're going to be able to talk to an actual female entrepreneur. And I think that's important. Female empowerment, part of that is entrepreneurship, right? If you're going to get money, do it, okay? If that means some sexual shit, do it, okay? That's all I'm saying. I was listening to the Iceberg Slim book on audio earlier today, and that guy had an interesting life. That guy had a very interesting life, and you see how he became a pimp because his mom, let's just say, wasn't the perfect woman. Who is, though? Who is? I think part of Women's History Month is saying that, you know what, no woman is perfect, other than Halle Berry. No woman is perfect, okay? That's important to remember. No woman is perfect except Kiki Lane. Oh, my God. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I was just up in Oklahoma yesterday, the great city of Oklahoma City, back at Bricktown Comedy Club. I'm going to be back there for Roasted Mania on March 14th, by the way. Get your tickets. Sunday show. I'm closing it out. It's going to be awesome. But shout out to Maverick for putting myself and Genevieve on the show as well. It was a fun crowd, man. It was the pirate show, the R-rated show. So it was a good time be able to, do some dirty comedy in a club setting. That's always fun. Oklahoma City, by the way, the best shake on the planet. The best weed shake, okay? When I'm talking weed shake, I mean like the lawn trimming weed that a lot of people are like, oh, you don't even smoke that. You have to bake with that. No. People who tell you that are wrong. You can smoke it. If it's green, you can smoke it, okay? Shake is not just for baking. Shake is for smoking and enjoying and smoking big, fat fucking blunts. All right? That's what it's all about. Women's History Month. Smoke a blunt, guys. Smoke a blunt. It's fun up in Oklahoma City. It was a good time. Went to Waffle House this morning. Genevieve and I went to Waffle House. Waffle House is my favorite because you're going to shit your pants after. I've taken far too many deuces since Waffle House. But I love Waffle House because you go in there and, you're sitting at the counter, right? We're sitting at the counter. It was packed in there, by the way. Fucking packed at Waffle House. No, just packed. No empty tables, packed. In Oklahoma City. Just packed. And, I'm sitting there and there's some elderly black gentlemen sitting, kind of across the counter. They're the funniest people. They are. They laugh at everything the other person says. It's pretty amazing. I'm like, dude, these guys have punchlines for days. They're just hitting them. And the best laugh, too. The best laugh is like an old black guy. I remember when I first started like interacting with older black men more and more, I had to realize that all right is just like the word all right is just how you say goodbye. All right. And I'm just like, all right. You have a good one, too. It's like the Dave Chappelle bit. It's literally like that. But yeah, it's fun being up in Oklahoma City. I enjoy it. Thank you to everyone who came out of the show, supported. Big shout out to Frank Evans. Great guy. I love you, Frank. Thanks for hooking it up, man. I appreciate it. But that was Oklahoma. I'm back in Tejas now, Texas. And, Governor Abbott, the great Governor Abbott of the great state of Texas, he lifted the mask mandate. No more mask mandate in Texas, all right? He also said businesses, as of next week, Wednesday, I believe, can be at 100% capacity. Texas is open, baby. And it's funny because it's like right when he opens it, you're like, am I hungover? Why do I feel like shit all of a sudden? I think the whole state's going to get sick. It's going to happen, but it's good. It needs to happen, all right? COVID numbers need to go up. They've been going down too long, all right? Pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers right now. We got to get those COVID numbers up, baby. So we got to open the state. So shout out to Governor Greg Abbott. I just want him to legalize marijuana, honestly, dude. I'm like, you're in a wheelchair. Just legalize pot. You never smoked pot? You're in a wheelchair, bro? Dude, you should try it. It would be awesome. He actually, if you don't know about Governor Greg Abbott, he's got a nice little deal set up where he gets paid, I think, like a couple he gets paid a decent amount of money on the annual from the accident that he had when he was 26 that put him in a wheelchair. Permanently use a wheelchair. Where is it? Here we go. He gets $14,000 a month as part of the settlement. $14,000 a month. $14,000. Just for getting hit by a tree. An oak tree. Fell on him while he was jogging following a storm. But he hasn't legalized weed yet. But I think I've read some rumblings that it might be around the corner for Texas, which would be very cool. It would be very cool. But for now, we're just going to have to deal with no masks, bruh. I bought cigarettes with no mask the other day. Talk about living dangerously. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people haven't been giving a fuck about the masks here for a minute. So honestly, it was really more of a formality in Texas. A lot of people around the country are like, oh my God, Texas is so dumb. Really was just a formality. People are still wearing them around here. It's up to you. That's the thing. It's up to you. You have the freedom to make a decision as an individual. It's a beautiful thing. That's a big part of capitalism is individualism, okay? With communism, it's all collectivism, and there is no individual. You either wear the mask or you're an absolute dissident. But in capitalism, in an ideal capitalism scenario, you have the freedom to make a decision. And that decision you will bear the consequences for. So, if you don't wear a mask and you get the virus, boom, you got the virus. That's how that works. Or you could spread it to someone you love, something like that. But it's your choice. I'm pro-choice on the mask issue, all right? And it's funny to me how liberals and, conservatives, they go back and forth on what they're pro-choice on and what they're not pro-choice on, all right? What they're pro-life on, what they're not pro-life on. If it's a baby, one way. If it's a mask, it's another way. It doesn't really matter. But I think it's the funny thing to me right now is how every liberal is turning on Andrew Cuomo. That's the best thing. It's the number one thing right now. It's like Andrew Cuomo, not only did he kill senior citizens, but he also sexually assaulted people, which is shocking, right? A Democrat in power sexually assaulting people. I've never heard of that. Where have I heard that before? Democratic governor suggested earlier this week, blah, blah, blah. Where's the rape? Come on, article. Get to the good part. Accusations by 3 women that he sexually harassed them. Okay, harassed. He harassed them. Of course he did. He's fucking Italian, right? Of course he... If you're a New York Italian and you've never sexually harassed a woman... You're gay. I think that's how that works. And even gay Italian New Yorkers sexually harass women. They're not even trying to fuck them. They're just, Italian New Yorkers. It's just what it is, man. I don't know. There's a lot of news right now about the next round of COVID relief, whether or not it's passed. I don't even know if it got passed. COVID relief bill. Democrats reach deal on unemployment aid, allowing $1.9 trillion relief bill to go forward. Okay, so I guess it's going forward, but they're giving the stimulus to less people. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. Well, all these people are acting like a stimulus is going to make or break. If you're broke, you're going to stay broke, even if you get the $1,400. If you're doing well and you don't get the $1,400, you're not going to start sucking. You're going to keep doing well. I don't think there's anybody in this country who is borderline whether or not the stimulus comes, it's going to make or break their fucking lives. Nobody. Should they send it out? Yeah, because they said they were going to, and that's kind of what you're supposed to do when you're in politics, other than suck the dick of aliens, but that's another thing. But I think they need to send it out, but they're not going to. They're not going to. Why? Why not just bomb the Middle East? Apparently, they almost bombed him again. That's the best part. They bombed the Middle East. Everyone freaks out. And then today I saw an article that said Joe Biden, at the last minute, called off more strikes on Syria. I'm like, oh, what a good guy. What a nice guy. The Nancy Pelosi video is going viral of her being like, we don't say open sesame. We say open Biden. Open Biden. The lady's fucking nuts, all right? And I hate to say that during Women's History Month, but she's fucking nuts. And she's not the only one. Lauren Boebert, also nuts. AOC, nuts. Ayanna Pressley, a little nuts. Rashida Tlaib, way nuts. And here's the thing. Mitch McConnell, also nuts, by the way. Jim Jordan, nuts. They're all nuts. None of these people are not nuts. Chuck Schumer, way nuts. But there's a lot of prominent women in Congress, the House and the Senate, who are fucking nuts. Dianne Feinstein, that lady is fucking bonkers, dude. That lady, and she's not Nancy Pelosi crazy. She's just like Machiavellian crazy. Those people are still crazy. Even if they don't seem like loopy crazy like Nancy Pelosi did in that video, they're still fucking nuts. Dianne Feinstein is a fucking criminal, dude. Dianne Feinstein is a criminal. Feinstein, dude. She is a fucking criminal. I didn't want to go on her website. I want to go on her fucking Wikipedia. By the way, she's 87 and she's still a U.S. Senator for California. She's been the senator from California since 1992. What the fuck? This lady is nuts. She was mayor of San Francisco for 10 years. Dianne Feinstein is an insane person. I don't give a fuck what you say. The lady's crazy. Look at this bitch. She's fucking nuts. And she's seeking election. Here's the best part. You go on Dianne. This is how you know Dianne Feinstein is out of her mind. You go on her Wikipedia and it says in January 2021. So this year, she filed the initial FEC, Federal Election Commission paperwork needed to seek re-election in 2024 when she will be 91 years old. That's insane. You're running for office, for a senator at 91 years old, and you sold stock right before the crash. You're fucking a criminal. You're an absolute criminal, Dianne Feinstein. Not to be anti-Semitic. I did that in Oklahoma. at the bar, not at the club show. You don't do that. You tell different jokes at the club than you do at the drunken bar where everyone's smoking cigarettes and, you start telling a couple anti-Semitic jokes and one lady's like, I love it. And you're like, oh, that's not good. You don't want to start a rally when you're just having fun. You know what I'm saying? You want to just tell a couple jokes and all of a sudden it turns into a rally. And it's like, wow, I get it. That's what happens. It's just what happens. But yeah, Dianne Feinstein is a crazy person. So I don't know if we're going to get $1,400. I don't know how much money you make. I might get it, but you might not because you might make too much money to get more money from the government, baby. Women's History Month. Happy Women's History Month. Happy Women's History Month. From Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi. We're insane people. We're fucking crazy. But they're in charge. What are you going to do? Vote? That doesn't work. Voting doesn't work. I think I'm done voting, by the way. Like, no one I've ever voted for has won. Maybe because I vote like third-party Kanye and stupid stuff. Nobody's ever won that I voted for. So I think I'm going to stop. If I stop voting, things will start to go more the way that I want them to. Now, that being said, hey, 100% capacity in Texas. We'll see how long that lasts, baby. I just hope that the hospitals are not at 100% capacity because that is when it gets dangerous. That being said, comedy's back, baby. Comedy's back. Clubs are opening up 100%. And I think a lot of clubs are just going to pack the seats. They're going to be like, yeah. They said we can be open. We're fucking open. We are 100% open, baby. People laughing, having a good time. America's back. We're bombing Hajis. We're doing sold out comedy shows. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be fucking great. Are you excited? A little bit of ASMR. Are you fucking excited? America 2.0. Coming back to America. Coming to America. Some of the funniest parts of the Coming to America movie, I will be honest, was some of the musical numbers. They had Salt and Pepper up top. Towards the beginning of the movie, they had Salt and Pepper in there. Some very funny moments there. Again, Eddie Murphy wasn't even, I think, top 5 funny people. You know, Wesley Snipes, Arsenio, they were all funnier. Leslie Jones was funnier than him. I'm going through. Michael Blackson, I thought was funnier than Eddie Murphy in that movie. And look, I don't think the whole movie, I don't think it was on Eddie Murphy to carry the whole thing. Eddie Murphy, he did what he did. He did what he did. Michael Blackson was great. Tracy Morgan, also hilarious. And, at the end of the movie, the movie's almost 2 hours, which is a little long for a comedy. If you know comedy, you want to be around 90 minutes, okay? They pushed it. And that's why I thought it was a good movie, but maybe not the best comedy. Because, again, agenda and Hollywood and everything like that. So, they're pushing the female empowerment. But I think you can do that in 90 minutes. I do. I don't think you need to go 110 minutes. I think you can do it in 90. I think you could have chopped 20 minutes out of that movie and maybe added a real fucking lion instead of that CGI bullshit. Amazon? Damn it, Bezos. I wanted to see a real lion. I wanted to see it. But they had to CGI it because that's how Hollywood works. They're like, dude, we'll get away with it, baby. We'll just CGI a lion, have them rip farts. That'll get a laugh. I didn't laugh at the lion fart. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think that was a funny moment. I just thought that was cheap. Cheap, low-hanging fruit. Not honestly that funny. Now, that being said, Eddie Murphy played a couple different roles, as did Arsenio Hall. And some of their other characters are very funny. I mean, I remember Norbit, right? We all remember Nutty Professor. Eddie Murphy is great when you put him in a fat suit. You put too much makeup and a fat suit on Eddie Murphy, you got a movie, right? That's how that works. You got a movie. But again, he had to play the character of King Akeem. King Akeem. I am looking for my son. Colin Jost, speaking of white people, Colin Jost, very, very brief appearance in the movie. I think, right? Was he in it? Was Colin Jost in the movie? I saw that white man. Dikembe Mutombo, like I said, he was in there. Morgan Freeman was in there. Colin Jost. Yeah, Colin Jost was in there. And Colin Jost did great. He was supposed to be the well-to-do white guy who had everything handed to him, and he played the character perfectly. I'll be honest. Those are the roles I'm trying to get. Those are the roles that I'm trying to get. Now, Rick Ross, he confused me a little bit in the movie. I didn't even know why he was there. I was like, do we need Rick Ross? Do we need skinny Rick Ross? Do we? I don't know. Do we? Who knows? Who was the other person? There was another big name star. Trevor Noah, that's what it was. He was Zamunda news anchor. Trevor Noah. Who else were they going to go with for that role? I didn't think he was funny in it, but I get why they put him in it, because you recognize him. He's actually African, which, I'm all about that. And he does do a sort of news anchor type role. So he was kind of perfect for it. Michael Shea would have been funnier. Let's be honest. Michael Shea would have been way funnier. But, I guess Trevor Noah sells more tickets. And I'm sure he does. I don't know. When Trevor Noah goes on tour, does he sell more tickets than Michael Shea? I don't know. That's a tough one. He was, and Michael, this is Trevor Noah, by the way. Trevor Noah named one of the 35 most powerful people in New York media. Wow, interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun movie. If you have Amazon Prime, watch it. Scroll past my special on there and go watch Coming to America 2. Why not? It's a good movie, I thought. Without further ado, I do want to get to this week's Porn Star of the Podcast. One of my favorites. This week's Porn Star of the Podcast. Give it up for Kendall Woods. Yes. Kendall Woods, the biography brought to you by Pornhub because they have hilarious bios. Kendall Woods might just be the next big ebony star to hit the porn scenes. She is a caramel-skinned black girl who wears her hair natural and curly. She's on the petite side, standing 5'6" tall and weighing 121 pounds. Kendall is the type of girl who started in the porn industry as soon as she was able to at 18 years of age. It's those types of girls who were really meant for the porn industry. She couldn't wait to dip her toe in, so she got in at the first opportunity. Now she's made some movies and she can't wait to do more. Kendall is kind of quiet and mysterious, but if you want to get to know her better, you should check out her Twitter account, where she has many thousands of fans. You can see what goes on inside her head because she posts silly memes that tell you how she is feeling and other stuff that gives you an inside look into her life. Another great way to get to know her is to watch some of her porn movies. Hey, there you go. Kendall gives her all to every sex session that she's a part of. Check out one of her reality scenes from Property Slut, where Kendall gets fucked by her landlord. She sucks his pipe like she's been starving for cock, and then she bends over the bed as he pounds her so that he will overlook a little tick of bad luck on her background check. If only all tenants were this hot and easy. Being a landlord would be a much more desirable job. Kendall's sweet moans are enough to get you hard or wet, however your downstairs functions. There you go. Kendall Woods, born March 15th. Hey, birthday coming up. March 15th, 1998 in the United States of America. That's all it says. She is ranked number 602 on the porn star ranks. And it did say Twitter. Let's see if we can find her Twitter real quick. Here's her Instagram. Kendall Woods 5. Is that her? That can't be her. Never mind. Don't follow that one. Is this the Kendall Woods on Twitter? Is it? There it is. At Kendall, Kendall, Woods, WOODZ _ So that is at KENDALLWOODZ _ She also has an OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Kendall Woods, spelled the same way, KENDALLWOODZ, onlyfans.com/Kendall Woods with a Z, and then an _. Let's see if we can find on our OnlyFans if it says how much it is. Do they have the prices? Come on. Nope, can't find it. Either way, that is Kendall Woods, this week's porn star of the podcast. She's great, by the way. Kendall Woods, if you've never watched one of her scenes, she's one of those newer porn stars, kind of a more petite teen, as it says. And she's got a lot of good scenes. She has one scene that I particularly like, where it's her and another porn star. Let me see if I can find her name. What's her name? The other porn star in this scene. Riley King, who also we're gonna have to feature at some point. It is Riley King and Kendall Woods having sex with one white man, one very lucky white man. Just looks like a good time, I'll be honest with you. But Kiki Lane, Kiki Lane, get at me, honey. Get at me, honey, on the podcast. Get at me. One of these days, I'm just going to jerk off on the podcast. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to whip out some porn, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to fucking record it, all right? And I'm going to still put it on YouTube, and you're going to watch it. Because you're a slut. Silly slut. But I am back in Texas. This is going to be my last month in Dallas before I make the move down to Austin. I'm very excited about that. A lot of people doing it. I'm doing it too. Fuck you. Fuck yeah. I'll go to Austin. I'll fucking do it. Okay. I did watch my my Kill Tony interview, my set in my interview, where Joe Rogan did boo me because I said I didn't eat pussy, blah, blah, which I do. You just don't have a lot of time to answer the questions, before they're like, we got to jump in and start roasting you, which I get. That's the show. That's how the show goes. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It still wasn't good. The set was as bad as I thought. But the interview, I guess wasn't as bad as I thought. That being said, you got to keep grinding. I said this last week on the podcast. And, like last night when I was in Oklahoma City and I had a good set, Breakdown was fun. It's like in moments like that, you're like, this is why you keep pushing. This is why you keep grinding and you don't give up, because you might just make something of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, like I said, man, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to be back in Oklahoma next week, Wednesday, Bricktown again. And then again, March 14th, Sunday at Breakdown for Roastamania. And then I'm going to be in Ardmore, Oklahoma at the legendary Gushers Lounge, March 30th. I'm in Oklahoma pretty much the whole month. That's my state. I own Oklahoma. I am Markus Olind, and I own Oklahoma. All right? Which means I own a lot of gas. I got the gas and the coke, and I don't sell Molly no more. I got it all right. I love McConan. McConan, by the way, what happened to McConan? McConan was popping for a little bit. He had the song Tuesday, Club Going Up on Tuesday. That was his big song. But that album was amazing, I thought. The self-titled EP, I Love McConan, which included singles Tuesday and I Don't Sell Molly, No More. The latter reached pop singer Miley Cyrus, who shared it on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Since then, so he did put out I Love McConan 2. He had been signed to OVO Sound, Drake's label. He departed from that, I guess, in 2016. What has he been doing? So he is gay. He came out as gay on January 20th, 2017, the day Trump got inaugurated. Hey, what's up? Is that why he did it? I don't know. But he is officially, he's a gay. He's a gay man. I Love McConan, the album, dropped 2014. I Love McConan 2, 2015. I guess it charted at the U.S. R&B charts. He had Fun Summer 17. I didn't listen to that. I Love McConan times R, Johnny, Ronnie, or J something. I Love America, M3. None of these albums I've heard of. But hey, I still love that initial one. So shout out McConan. Shout out McConan. His rise to fame began in 2014 after Canadian rapper Drake released a remix of his song Tuesday. Drake put him on the map. Drizzy, Drake. Coming to Canada. They should make that movie. Coming to Canada. Coming to Canada. That would be funny. It's the Drake story. Coming to Canada. Featuring Drake. That would be hilarious. I don't think they're going to do it. Why not? That's all Hollywood does is spin-offs and a bunch of bullshit, right? I'm trying to think. Like, I was watching Netflix the other day. I wasn't even watching anything. I was just, and I'm sure you do this too. Do you ever open up Netflix and just start scrolling through it? And you're like, there is literally nothing on here that I want to watch. Nothing. You scroll through it and you're like, no. I remember when Netflix had good shit on it. Do you? I do. Amazon Prime had the best strategy, though. They gave everyone already had Amazon Prime because they wanted next day shipping. Then they were like, look, now you also get this streaming service. And then guess what? When they first dropped Amazon Prime, they had this deal with HBO. So a bunch of HBO shows were on Amazon Prime. So they trained our brains to be like, Amazon Prime has good stuff on it, right? Then that contract with HBO apparently ran out because Curb Your Enthusiasm, Entourage, all those shows, they are no longer on Amazon Prime. But you still go to it because you're like, oh, they got good shit. And then they're like, look at this original, Coming to America, or, some Borat, right? So they're like, look, we have original stuff that is going to be good, but we also have a lot of shit that sucks. We're Amazon Prime, my special. That's where it is. I mean, you can find it. Look out Black Thanksgiving. Look at my name, Markus Olind, on Amazon Prime. I don't give a shit. Watch it if you want. Don't watch it if you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting paid from it. Never going to see that money. That's why we keep grinding on to the next one, like Jay-Z said, It is unfortunate, though. Okay, buddy. No. Here we go. Swag. There we go. I don't use the soundboard a whole lot on this podcast. This podcast is more about the porn and the capitalism, And I was told by a friend of mine that I don't talk about porn enough on the podcast. There's so many things to talk about. You don't talk about porn enough. Look, I'm a big fan. Everybody knows this. I love porn. I used to have a Brazzers membership. I used to be a paying customer. And that's why I plug the OnlyFans, because I know there are people who actually do buy the shit. And, those are good people. Say what you want about them. People who buy porn, keeping the business alive. You got to have customers. Speaking of Netflix getting rid of all the good content, what's the deal with Pornhub? Pornhub has kind of been doing that Netflix shit. They don't have all the shit they used to have on Pornhub. I don't know what they're doing, but they're getting rid of a lot of shit at Pornhub, and I don't like it. Okay? My go-to pornos, they're not always there anymore. Now, they do still have that Kendall Woods one. Again, shout out Kendall Woods. They do still have the Kendall Woods with Riley King. But some of the other ones, you look it up and you're like, this used to be here. Where did it go? And that's where you're like, somebody wisened up and said, I want some money for all these views. People are cranking it to my handiwork, and I'm not getting paid. What the fuck? And I get it. You want to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid. Everyone wants to get laid. That's what it is. That's why they made Coming to America, too. Speaking of Eddie Murphy, by the way, it was funny watching Eddie Murphy surrounded by all these beautiful black women, and then you look up Eddie Murphy, and you look up his wife, and she's white. Eddie Murphy's white. Eddie Murphy's wife is white. Eddie Murphy's not white. Eddie Murphy's wife is white. She's Australian. Paige Butcher. Smoke show. Very hot. She's a hot blonde woman married to Eddie Murphy. It's what it is. It's the world nowadays, all right? Get over it, people. But again, shout out to Coming to America, because I think they did a good job on it. I do. My review of Coming to America, I'll give it a 6.9. I think that's fair. 6.9. Again, I thought it was a little long, personally. Comedy, I think, should be around 90 minutes. I thought it was a little bit long. That being said, I thought Leslie Jones was great. Dikembe Mutombo, great ad for the movie. So, I mean, overall, you got sexy women. It's not, again, long, but not too long. Too long, but not crazy long. It wasn't a Tarantino movie or anything like that. That's what I want to see. Eddie Murphy in a Tarantino movie. That's what I want to see. Make it happen, Hollywood. Make it happen. Something original. But yeah, I'll give it a 6.9. Because again, I thought the cast, amazing. The storyline, meh. The jokes, again, not the funniest movie. Not the funniest movie. Too much agenda. But still, 6.9 overall. A lot of sexy women distracted me from the bullshit agenda. And, there's a couple Wakanda lines in there where people are like, Black Panther, right? It's hilarious. Like the line from Tracy Morgan where he's like, Zamunda, Wakanda, Connecticut, I don't care where you're from. And everyone's like, Wakanda. They said it. They said it. They said Wakanda. They said it. Isn't that hilarious? I guess. I don't know. But again, not a bad movie. I suggest you check it out. If you have Amazon Prime, watch that instead of my special because I'm not getting paid for it. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out this week's episode. Like I said, if you are in Oklahoma, plenty of chances to see me next Wednesday at Bricktown, open mic. Sunday, March 14th. Please come to that show. It's going to be fun. Roastamania. Julie Drake's on that show. Some other really funny comics. So make sure you come to that show. Ardmore, Oklahoma. If you're watching, Ardmore, baby, I'm back with Genevieve, Justin, and my friend Phil Garcia. We're going to be back at Gushers. Come check us out. It's going to be a good time. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good weekend.